over in North Korea, they have a tendency to exaggerate quite a bit. Just last week, Kim Jong-un let a fart off, and it set off a giant shockwave across the nation. It was a 5.1 on the Richter scale. Oh, wait a minute. No, that wasn't a fart. It was a nuclear blast, which is pretty close to the same thing.
Only if you're in the car
Strong
with
goes
me.
the kimchi.
It's the kimchi that he's eating over there. It's certainly not my chili, because my chili doesn't give, well, it does. But but the thing is over there, he's saying that he has made a hydrogen bomb. And the difference between a hydrogen bomb and the typical atom bombs are a big, big difference. The atom bombs that he's most likely using, based on what the UN and special scientists who study this kind of shit, they know that by the shock wave, what kind of bomb or how much TNT version it is. They can judge that stuff. That because, these guys are like, real smart. Now, the thing about atom bombs is that they take the atom and they literally split it apart. The hydrogen bomb is a fusion bomb. What they do is they take the atoms and they do the reverse. Now, the reason why these two specific things are very different, a hydrogen bomb is so much more deadly. They did a atomic test on a hydrogen bomb out on some island many years ago. It started with an M. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I do apologize.
It wasn't Bikini Atoll.
No, it wasn't the Bikini Atoll. No, it was this other island. It sounded like Marne Island or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But when they tested this bomb on that island, the island literally vaporized. That's
Myanmar.
Myanmar, that's it. Myanmar.
Myanmar,
Okay.
I think is.
Yeah, the Myanmar island. The island literally vaporized. The cloud went up over twice the height of where a commercial jet flies, and the cloud went out over 100 miles. Now, the thing is here, when Kim Jong-un says that this is a hydrogen bomb, because of the shockwave, even a small hydrogen bomb would have been even more devastating than what he's claiming. Kind of your thoughts?
Yeah. What's really scary to me is that we've actually had Kim Jong-un come across our desk over the last year, and we've always kind of said, yeah, whatever, tempest in it. It's kind of a tempest in a teapot, but it's scary because this is a dynasty. This is like they've set themselves up to be like gods. His family has, and they are messing around. They do have some kind of plutonium.
Yeah, there's plutonium and uranium.
Right, and they want to be this huge nuclear power, and I don't know. It's sort of like the spoiled little brat who wants attention. They don't even have to have a big bomb. They can't deliver it yet, I guess. They don't have the rocket technology, the missile technology. But
actually, they according to the article I saw that you found for us,
yes,
they said that they're actually the scope of where they could deliver to would be like in your neighborhood, actually.
In the West Coast,
yeah.
Or they could just hit Seoul and Tokyo.
Oh yeah,
which are our allies, which is really actually that's almost the bigger threat.
Oh yeah, and the bigger target actually.
Yeah, so I'm glad we're actually talking about it because it is very frightening. We do have military presence, and we have a responsibility. We feel a responsibility, as I understand it, to South Korea and Japan and the Asian complex of powers over there. So yeah, I really hate that this temper tantrum from this 3-year-old is that whole. Actually, today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Kim Jong Un. You already
he's 5 again.
Though, so.
He's 5 again.
Yeah,
he acts like a fucking 5-year-old.
Books, they'll believe it.
Yeah.
So,
his dad's not dead. He's just God now.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's good to be God.
Yeah. It's good to be the God.
God.
It's good to be the God.
I'll pass it to the other people here because this is, yes.
Okay, Dave, your thoughts.
So I think that it's clear that they have the capabilities to launch something that would reach us. What's unclear is whether or not what can reach us could be nuclear. Currently, I mean, the tests of the hydrogen bomb have demonstrated that they may have the capabilities to send a missile that would hit us.
Yeah.
But they do not have the technology to make it small enough to fill a missile head
Right.
for a nuclear attack.
Right.
Or,
So they have to send it Federal Express, is what you're saying.
that's not what I'm saying. That's what you're saying. That's fine. No, you know what? I'm mixed in my approach to this because I feel that any nation should have the right to defend itself and arm itself.
Oh, absolutely.
And so us putting limitations on whether or not they can develop something is a questionable act. However, I also understand the plight of trying to protect the world against crazy people who want to like destroy everything, or could potentially destroy everything over some sort of like whiny temper tantrum,
Right.
which seems to be
this guy
go along where he's capable.
Right. Yeah, Kim Jong Un, he's a child, and you put someone who's a child in with a child mentality in charge of a country, especially one with nuclear weapons. It's like, I don't know. It's like sending your 5-year off to school with a loaded Uzi.
Yeah. So I think the question is whether, I mean, so different nations have different leaders, and different leaders can perhaps be mentally 3 years old, right?
Yeah.
Do they have more or less a right to defend themselves? I don't know, but that's where I'm conflicted about this.
Well, there was a school of thought. I heard this this morning, and I wish I could remember who the quote comes from, but it's basically saying that why not give a nuclear missile to every country, and then that way nobody's going to use it because everybody doesn't want to get wiped out because they know they'll have the ability to wipe each other out.
Yeah, but isn't that the same?
That's an actual paradox, isn't it?
Is that the same question as like if we arm everyone in the United States and there'll never be any more gun violence?
Right.
I mean, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
And
that's
it's
where
ridiculous to expect that of 4 nations as well.
Right. Well, that's where I was going with that.
Is that cognitive dissonance of everyone having the right to have that technology?
Right. Well, that's where I was going with.
The answer is,
yeah.
I'm just throwing out my my thoughts, my conflict.
Sure. Well, no, the reason why I was saying that, I was leading to, on paper, it sounds like a good idea. In reality, it's not, because not everybody that has access to this technology is going to use it appropriately.
Of course. I agree.
So we get people like Kim Jong Un, who has a bigger dick than I've got fetish. So he thinks that everybody else around him, he thinks everybody's out to get him, and he's gonna, if he's got this kind of attitude, he's going to think that he's gonna use it to attack everybody else.
Right.
He's gonna do a preemptive strike because he's fucking nuts jobs. Atticus, your thoughts?
He's a lot like just the little dictator that could, and I
think you have the right at little dick. You didn't have to be the tater.
That as well. He does scare me a bit. He has it's like Christopher Hitchens said about North Korea. It's that it has. If you want to see what 1984 would look like if it were real, that is exactly what it would look like. I watched a documentary recently that's on Netflix, and now I can't remember the name of it, where eye doctors went into the country to fix, cataracts. And these wonderful surgeons went in and they cured, I believe it was 1,000 people within like 15 days or something like that, because that's all the time they had. Well, it was probably shorter than that, or maybe longer. I don't know, but it wasn't an excessively long amount of time for them to do it. And after the cataracts had healed, instead of thanking the doctors, they walked directly up to the picture of Kim Jong Un and thanked him, the great Lord God Kim Jong Un.
Jesus Christ!
And it was the craziest fucking thing I had ever seen. I've never been more. I don't know, adult scared in my life. I don't know how to put it. Like where you just feel that anxiety, that sort of, feeling in the pit of your stomach. Like that's just all wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody, has recently read the book 1984. But you read it when you're a kid and you don't understand what the fuck they're talking about. If you read it as an adult, that book will scare the poop out of you.
Yeah.
It will.
Well, you can say shit on the show here, by the way.
I like the word poop. I don't know. It's just I say it with my kids. And
poop's good. It's articulate.
poop. You can smell it once you hear the word come out of your mouth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like an interesting medical condition. If you get
inside North Korea,
what's that,
possibly.
Connie?
I was trying to Google it really quick, the documentary, but
I was gonna say if you say the word
Yes, it
poop and
was
you're
inside
smelling
North
it,
Korea, I think, something like that.
okay.
if you're smelling poop as soon as you say it, that sounds like a weird medical condition. You might want to have that checked out by a doctor.
I chew lots of gum and smoke cigarettes to cover up the smell.
Ah, that helps.
Well, according to Newsweek, North Korea believes the possession of nuclear arms is the guarantor of the regime's survival, which the Kim dynasty is actually what's the most important to them. It's the survival of that dynasty, of this family, of this leadership, this dictatorship. And I guess that I don't like to be afraid, and I don't want to have just a knee-jerk reaction of being afraid. When 9/11 happened, everybody was so incensed and afraid, and I don't think any of those reactions were wrong. But calmer heads needed to have taken over, I think, after 9/11. Because now we have how many thousands of Americans and who knows how many Iranians and Iraqis, citizens who have died, and I don't think that we solved anything. So with North Korea, here's somebody who has their fingers on the trigger, and it seems like they're so anxious to prove something. And I heard some pundits today talking about it, but they were old Bush cronies, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we should be afraid of this." I go, "Well, we should be concerned about this, but." So, what's really scary is sanctions haven't worked with North Korea.
Yeah.
And they're talking about more sanctions, and it doesn't seem to matter to them.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about how tight knit the country. You can't exit. It's very hard. It's like very few people have exited.
Yeah.
How is it that people can actually enter the country with uranium or plutonium? I mean, we have the North Korean, South Korean guard, I believe, on one side with American soldiers as well, and it's walled off. It's so localized. I don't understand how it is that. I mean, if it's that easy for stuff to get in, I mean, I guess you could smuggle in little parts here and there until someone eventually gets enough so that they have just one missile and one way of packing that's tight enough into the warhead.
That's just tenacity. I mean,
yeah,
anyone's going to be able to get anything into any secure area if they're trying long enough.
I just want to read a couple comments from the chat room here. Cat's Eye 1000, he says, I think it's just a show to have more negotiation sway. Then later on, someone would say, we were talking about the sanctions there. That the sanctions, that's from Microblogadism. Thank you, Microblogadism, for your comment. Sanctions only work if you care about your people. Now, if he's negotiating, he's certainly not going to negotiate on his behalf of his people. If he's going to negotiate, he's try to negotiate for himself, I imagine.
Now, do you guys believe that he actually has 100% total control over the population? I mean, they say they have a 0% crime rate.
No, they also say they have unicorns that shit Skittles too. So
no, I know. Well, I mean, with a totalitarian government, I could see almost perfect control.
Yeah,
but
I can't see total control of any.
You wouldn't need death camps.
I can always see dissenters within any group.
Mm-hmm.
We've covered stories here on the show where they've had dissenters from within the ranks. And one of the guys he had, they claimed anyway, that they shot him with an aircraft carrier gun. Oh,
that was his uncle.
Was it his uncle?
I believe so. His uncle, had his uncle executed about a year ago, didn't he?
Yeah, it was about a year ago. We covered it here on the show. They shot him with an aircraft carrier gun. I'm like, that's a little bit of overkill.
But, I mean, we're right. We're an atheist show, right? Like, so we
are. Wait a minute. Wait. Let me write this down. We're an atheist show. We are atheist show.
So wait. You guys don't believe in God either?
I'm just saying we all understand what it's like to be a dissenter who is silent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
Right, and so claiming that 100% of the population agrees with a certain belief or mindset.
Yeah, I would.
True, because there are probably people who are dissenting and yet not vocal about it.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that point. That there's probably pockets of people who are actively trying to hopefully try to figure out a way to overturn the government there. if at all possible. I mean,
that's
or
true.
at least just trying to live outside of some of their reign without being noticed.
That's true, and the media is censored to not show that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Of course they censor everything over there.
Microorganism says they have prison camps. See, that's what I've heard about. It is very, very oppressive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There, what was that movie that they recently didn't release to
The Interview.
theaters?
The Interview.
I thought that
Yes.
movie was hilarious.
I have not seen it yet.
I believe it's on Netflix.
Oh, I've
as well.
seen it.
I've got like 500 ways to get the movie if I want to watch it. It's just a matter of time.
I don't know that it's a good movie. It's actually probably more hyped than a good movie.
I'm just easily pleased, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, it's by and large entertaining.
That's what I heard. I've heard reviews on both ends that it was really good, and some people say it was just total crap. So I have yet to watch it, so I don't know. I
just say it's entertaining. I'll leave it at
Yeah,
that.
That's
I found
my
it
best term.
funny.
Yeah.
It was not the best movie, but I found it very funny. And
yeah. See, we got it's
evening.
all over the maps all over the place there.